Ole, one time we were in a super serious meeting it was so fucking boring, and I'm sitting next to you, and I forget what they said, but I said, Ole, how long have you worked here? And you said, I was born in the data center. Yeah. And my coffee just spilled out of my mouth.
But do you remember the setup of that meeting? It was some kind of an escalation meeting, and there were a lot of bigwigs, C-level people in there, right? You know, CTO,
Something had gone wrong.
And that's typically, you know, they usually show up and something has gone wrong. And I could hear, I mean, the tension in that room was like, oh, damn, you know, there's too many C-level people in here, right? So this is not good.
Yeah.
And I remember, let's break the ice here a little bit. Yeah, I think that's how I introduced myself. I'm Olle Siljeholm, and I was born in a data center.
I mean, you think of Sweden, you think of like this beautiful place where everybody's nice to everybody, and this guy goes,
that's not the case.
I was born in the data center. So it's not the case.
But that kind of broke the ice.
It's not the case in Sweden?
That everybody's
nice?
No, that's just what you see on TV. That's not true. No one is nice in Sweden. Of course, everybody's super nice and super friendly in Sweden, of course.
It's all a front.
But I will say a thing for people to think about is if you're in IT, especially like an internal IT department, your best day is when nothing fucking goes wrong.
Correct.
Right? That's the best it can possibly be that day. If not, you're in an escalation.
You know, what's the thing, the Maytag repairman?
Right. Yeah.
That's the whole idea.
Oh,
yeah, no one pats your back and say, hey, the network is great today.
The biggest mistake I ever made one time was when I was in management. Everything was working perfectly. I sat back in my chair and went, damn, this is so great. Everything's working. Then everything crashed the next day. It's like the gods hear you, and they just shoot a lightning bolt at you and go, sorry, dude, that's not.
And then our consulting division. So Talos was IT services, consulting, and managed services. Managed services is even worse because the consulting guys at least are working on the future, right? They're working on something cool. And they're senior and they're on site and they're shooting the shit with execs. The managed services guys are just like, okay, we're working on a P1 outage. We're working on a P1 outage. It's just P1 outages everywhere. So it is
it's combat.
Highly rewarding, but you got to have the fortitude to deal with just being in combat all day long. All right, so we're gonna take a quick break because I'm gonna talk to Ranga one-on-one.